Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Blind Spot and Shadow Readings with my friend Hershey. I'm so glad to be back with her.
Oh, I miss you. I love you so much. You are my
Oh,
favorite
I love you
professor
too.
ever.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. So we were just talking backstage about both finding our place in the sun. Both of us are very happy with where we are and how we're doing, and so it's only right we should spend some time together and do some fun readings. They may be a little tough, but the information that can be gleaned can exponentially increase your understanding of why you do things that you do. So, yeah.
100%. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. So if you it's the title of your channel is still Hershey the Shadow Reader. Am I right? Okay. So yes, Hershey, the shadow reader. Oh, and there's Kelly, and hi Denise, and hi Marby. It's great to see all of you. Um, so today, I asked Hershey to come back because there is a great box of cards for blind spot readings by Teal Swan, and I have them, but Hershey works with them a lot more than I do. And so before we start today, I'm going to have her tell you what that means if she's reading for you for your blind spot. I want you to think about riding in your car, driving in your car and looking in your side mirror and being able to see who's in back of you. But sometimes there's a blind spot that you can't see, but it's still there. So she's going to talk about that. I also have a deck of shadow work oracle cards that I'm going to pull, and so, what we're going to look for is things we may not be aware of, or things we might be aware of, but we don't like to look at, if that makes sense. So, yeah. So, hello, Paul Freed. Oh, you lost your cat? I am so sorry, Paul. I'm so sorry.
My
Yep,
condolences.
17 years. That's a long time for your cat. That's much love to you, Paul. Yeah. And hello, Ness. And Donna, I'm glad you're here. You're new to the channel. Well, we're glad to have you with us. And yeah, we're doing the blind spot and the shadow work readings. So if anybody wants a reading, put it in that you want it, understanding uh, that the shadow is usually something we're already aware of, but we don't tend to like to look at. But the blind spot readings, I'm going to let Hershey explain those to you. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. No pressure. No, I'm just kidding. So, as a
Well, you
shadow
can read
reader,
that list. That list really is a great thing.
most
Yeah.
important part, right? So
Yes.
when we're doing shadow work, it's an ongoing thing. It's something that never stops, right? It's something because we're
Mhm.
always wanting to be our best version of us, right? So
Right.
my favorite part about this, and everybody has their own analogy to a blind spot, but to me, that blind spot is that great big huge sign that says everyone's credit is approved right here, and everybody runs to that easy credit, but they never read that small print, right?
Right.
So that
Right.
blind spot is something that you glanced at it at some point in your life. You knew it was there. You just intentionally didn't really actually read that. So a
Right.
blind spot has an application process, right? It's not
Mhm.
shadow work technically because it's unconscious and subconscious. And the application, you have to have one, at least one. I tend to have all of them, but you have to have at least one of these to apply for
Uh-huh.
the actual blind spot to be applicable.
Uh-huh.
A person in your life, literally,
Uh,
a person, a
a
person in your
person.
life, a job, a
Okay.
relationship, your true desires, your true needs, your true motives, someone else's motives, needs, or desires, an
Mhm.
addiction, a habit, a character, a personality, a possible future, a definite past, a present circumstance, finances, purpose, a reason, someone else's reason, what you should be doing, what someone else obviously should be doing, right? A health condition, and most importantly, a decision that you don't want to face, choice that you don't want to make, even if you have to choose between two devils.
Rotten things. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Denise, you're right. You know you're procrastinating. but that's actually, I'm wondering if that's really
That would
more
be the
of the
shadow part of
shadow.
it. You know you're
That's the
doing it.
shadow.
Now that's where the shadow comes in. And you
Right.
just have to start working on that stinking thinking and that monkey mind and start replacing those bad habits and character and comfort zones with something
Uh-huh.
that intentionally gets you motivated and moving in a different
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's not like it's all fairies and angels reading here today, but we think that it has, and we don't do this very often. I think it's been probably at least 6, maybe more months since Hershe and I
It
have worked
has.
together here, because it's something that, and she does these on her own channel as well. So don't think you can't get one if you later on if you feel like you want to, because she will be doing them. But it's just something, and I pulled one for myself today, and I'm going to spend some time reading it later for myself so that I can figure out what it is that I need to know more about myself. So yeah. Oh, Donna, you just got a shadow book. Well, that's awesome. All right. So I'll put you on the list here. Very good. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's really a great explanation. And the other thing that we talked about backstage, which I want to make you aware of, is that there's a lot of really good things that are in your blind spot, as well as things you need to look at. So it isn't like everything's a negative reading, right?
Right. Right.
But you
There's
only
always
pull one?
great.
You only pull one card though, right, Hershey?
I usually I let Miles do the talking, but it's usually just
Mhm.
one, unless it's somebody
Yeah.
that's actively working. And then
Mhm.
there's a reason I got to see both of them, but there's also just one I'm going to focus on. I won't focus on both of them. I
I
just
get you.
need to realize why they both came out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and they will either tell a longer story or maybe complement each other. I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. 'Cause
That's
I always pair them with an energy, and I always pair them with
mhm.
Osho Zen,
Yep.
because I
Yep.
use the Osho Zen in this circumstance strictly as
Oh,
an energy oracle for the actual one that they want me to focus on. So it will match the energy that they've paired for it.
that's awesome. And there's I mean, I could tell a whole story about Osho. Osho is fabulous, but
Oh
there is
God.
an Osho Zen tarot. Yes, that's really,
Oh,
really
yes.
great. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So what I think I'm going to do today is Hershey has to take a few minutes to have what she's got to tell you in order to tell you it. So I'll pull a shadow reading, and then we'll have Hershey pull the blind spot reading. And yeah, it's fascinating. It's really quite fascinating. All right. So right now we got 7 of you. I probably could take maybe another 2 um, because it does take a little bit of time. So if anybody else that's here would like to have it before I close the readings, I'm gonna all right. I'm gonna put up the questions closed, but and that's way too big. Hang on, it's gonna overshow
See,
everything.
just fine. Thank you.
Oh, whoa! Can you see that? Yeah. Yeah, it's a little large. Hold on. I know I have a smaller one, but where is it? All right, I have to create one. Hang on. I think it was because a lot of people don't see it, and I think that's probably why I had that big one. All right, so I'm going to do that instead, and I'm going to get rid of the bigger one. But I'm going to allow for 2 more if all right, Mary Starshine. Nancy, you got a question for April, but we're only doing. You want one, Edward? We can do that for you. All right. I'm going to yeah, they're closed because these are a little bit lengthy and they are shadow readings. And some of you who would just like a message like Mary and Nancy, uh, I can do a shadow reading for you. That's fine. She's going to pull the blind spot reading. And if you don't want either one, for instance, you'll say, I don't want her to do a blind spot reading, you have to let me know. Otherwise, we're just going to go with these 2 readings. So I will put that in there. But
Yes, I second that, guys.
yeah,
They're not for everybody, and
no,
I will not be offended if you are not ready to let me crawl around that subconscious and unconscious of you. I will not be
Yeah.
offended. So, and I do not sugarcoat anything, guys. So,
Yeah.
for entertainment
No,
purposes
Hershey's
only.
pretty not, I won't say you're overly blunt, but
No,
you tell it
I'm
like it
not.
is. So that's what this kind of reading is. So be prepared. It might stir some feelings, and that's okay. But remember too that this is for entertainment purposes only. And if there's anything that just take what resonates with you and work with it. Well, thanks, Denise. That's so nice. All right. You want both, Edward? All right. Yeah. Everybody's saying, let me have it. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to start out with Paul. And I'm going to start with the shadow. And I'll let Hershey pull your card from the blind spot. All right. Oh, this looks like it's more for Denise because she just told us self-sabotage and procrastination. Paul, we all do that. We sabotage ourselves by procrastinating at times, and we don't get what we need to get done. And then we regret that we haven't done that. So it says overcome your fear of resilience or failure. Don't look at things in a negative light. Look at things as much as you can in a positive light, and this will help you with your inner balance. And that's something we have to really consciously think about as well, how balanced we are in all things, including how we feel about ourselves, because we can be really hard on ourselves. So that, my dear, is mine. Yeah.
So I kind of actually like this, right? So
Okay.
it doesn't necessarily make me out to be a liar, but in my opinion about this book that I have read thoroughly since release date, what I can tell you is that the front of the book is usually the ones you really want to get. But then they sneak one in and they make my words go, you forgot about what one, number 50, right? 50
Uh-huh.
isn't necessarily always blind, right?
Okay.
This is
Okay.
the autopilot. OMG. I don't know how I forgot about the autopilot, right? So the
Mhm.
autopilot is all about remembering what you're not supposed to do. You don't have to worry about
Right.
forgetting. You're not going to forget it. You're programmed to do it, right? So the challenge of this card is literally to deprogram yourself. The energy of
Oh.
this is compared, right? We do that, right? When we're on auto program and we're driving down the highway and we're focused because we went from a 2-lane traffic and we're rest and relaxed, and now we're on a 10-lane road and we have to pay attention to not 1 lane, not 2 lane, not 3, but now 10 lanes, 10 people per side of you, 10 attitudes, 10 ragers that are weaving in and out of the traffic, and all of a sudden you miss your damn turn because you were auto programmed to do one thing, and that was to focus on the road. But while you were auto programming your brain, you completely
Mhm.
missed your turn, right?
Right.
Now, what
Right.
can you do? You're not going back. You're not going back through all of that. I'm going home. I'm not doing it anymore. So
Right.
remember, at this point, when you find yourself getting in that pilot mode, that autopilot button, here's where you want to start comparing this moment right then and there to something else you could be doing that gets you off of your normal routine. It starts forcing a wedge, right? Start throwing a pole in the middle of your own way sometimes, right? You can
Oh.
break that cycle by literally putting a pole in your path, literally, and intentionally hit it. And I'm not kidding. You're going to literally want to intentionally hit the pole because right then and there, oh, oh, yep, let me compare this to the time that I'm not going to get off, or I'm not going to stay in the confusion. I'm going to go compare this madness to something else that is much more my speed. Now, I know that sounds a little
Mhm.
crazy to say deprogram yourself, but we don't see it after so long. We go
We
with
don't.
a flow, we go with the
Yeah.
motion. So
You're
the
right.
energy that they paired it with is compared, right? So compare
Yep.
the differences that you could learn, grow, and experience just by finding a way to intentionally deprogram yourself. And that's what I've
It's
done
so
for you.
funny because last Wednesday I was driving back home from the hospital with my husband, and I got off at the wrong exit. And it was the exit to the job that I have, but I don't have it in the building anymore. I do it online. And I thought, oh my God, I haven't gone
Auto
that
program.
way forever. But it was my programming. You're
Auto
absolutely
program
right.
kicked in, and you're like, how did I get here? What?
Yeah, yeah. What was I thinking? I mean, yeah, what's going but we do that, especially when we drive, because a lot of us, I don't know about you, Hershey, but I'll be somewhere and then all of a sudden I'm home and I go, now how did I get here? It's like I've just driven that road
I've
so
been
long
there.
that I haven't seen
Yep, I've been there.
it. Oh, you're welcome, Paul. I'm glad that's helpful. Yeah, yeah. All right. So we have beautiful Sarah, Hibiscus Healings, and she has her own channel. And so it's great to see you, Sarah. All right. So I'm pulling a couple of shadows. Oh my God, I pulled the same one. So I have self sabotage for you as well as I did for Paul. And so I'm going to say, actually, when I pull my archetype cards, it's one of the archetypes that we all have. We all self sabotage ourselves in some way. But your reason is you have a longing and a passion, and your deepest desires are there to hold the seed of your potential. But you might self sabotage because you don't know if that's really what either you want or you think you can do. Like, well, I'd really like to do this, but gee, I'm not as good as other people are at it, or whatever. So you have to learn to step away from sabotaging yourself for your own good, but also to hold on to your deepest desires and passions. So that's what I get. Yeah.
So, so the one I got for you was inauthenticity, right?
Huh?
So,
Mm-hmm.
well, the in number 23 in not authenticity, but inauthenticity. I look,
The
I struggle
opposite of.
sometimes with words. So,
Yeah, it's all right. It's not being authentic. Mm-hmm.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, right. So
Yeah.
this is one of those that make people say instantly, "I'm transparent." Are you?
Mhm.
Are you?
Mhm.
This one triggers people, guys, and we don't know a trigger until it actually happens. And then if we don't
True.
immediately stop and figure out exactly what word, action, phrase, or sometimes even facial
Mhm.
expression that someone makes when they're talking to us triggered us, we'll never learn. We will just keep right on rolling with the punches. We will never take our ownership, right?
Mm.
So the
Mhm.
only way to be unauthentic is to compare your inside to your outside, right? And if your outside is a garden of roses, so you think, but the inside of your heart feels broken, hurt, stuck in yesterday, still hanging with the same people that hurt you, guess what? That reflection is a mirage. It isn't that. That what's on the outside is not a rose garden, honey. That's not what's
Mhm.
going on. It's what you
Mhm.
want. It's what you want, right? They're not being as authentic as you are, right? So this is kind of a mirroring thing, right? So if we are being inauthentic to ourselves, we are doing ourselves a discourage, a dis thing. We're hurting ourselves, right? We
A
are not,
disservice. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
a
Mhm.
disservice.
Yep. Yep.
So
Mm.
when we tend to find ourselves being authentic, sometimes the word burden pops in because we don't want to put something on someone else, right? But that
Mhm.
is the reflection, right? You
Mm.
need to make sure that as within, so without, as above, so below,
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
universe onto my soul, right? It is always a mirror image of you. You take you with you everywhere you go. One of your blind spots, possibly in that unconscious, that has a trap door that is very, very hard to enter, because you have to feel like you're being a burden to someone before this blind spot probably even cracks the door open. So this is
Oh,
one of those blind
okay.
spots that you may not understand how it gets triggered. So make sure that when you're journaling on this one specifically, that everything mirrors. Do not say that that rose smells like a rose when it actually smells like.
Skunk.
Be authentic. That is
Uh-huh.
so hard for people to do, right? When they're in
Yep.
the shadow part of being transparent, because you're very vulnerable. You're not
Sure.
being a burden. The people that love you the most don't see you as a burden. So figure out how it's triggering you, this burden feeling, and
Mhm.
that is where you will make your connection and mirror the inside with
Wow.
the outside.
Wow. I absolutely love that. On yesterday, Jean and I, we spent an hour talking about authenticity. Isn't that amazing? It's just, but the cards I pulled for Sarah also were self-sabotage. I think we can self-sabotage our authenticity, or the other
Absolutely.
one that I pulled was not following your passion. And so that may also feed into this because it's all connected in some way. So thank
Absolutely.
you, Sarah. Thank
Thank you.
you. All right. So we have Marby. All right. Marby. You've been working on not making yourself small for others. Good for you, girl. Good for you, Sarah. Yeah.
I see you, Jim. I see you, Jim. I see you. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Marby, I have pulled that you need to be open to finding more wholeness. And I love this because it looks like puzzle pieces that need to be put together. And when I get anything that has to do with a puzzle, I always think about when I get frustrated because I'm down to a couple more, just a couple more pieces on the puzzle, and none of them fit. And I want to smash them because I can't get them to go in. So it says here, bring together fragments that complete you and accept yourself, and you will find some inner peace. And then it says to self reflect on that as well. Look inward, looking inward helps you see what to improve, and it will bring you more awareness as to what you might want to do in order to do that. You're welcome.
So, so I got one of them 50-50 cards, right? So this is
Uh
one
huh.
of those cards that has a way of, the more you fight it, the more you find it, right? This is definitely one of them cards that is going to have this amazing angel that comes with it, and the angel's name is Chance, right? And he is a 50-50 angel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because as long as you play the game, you have the 50-50 shot, right? So let's pretend this angel named Chance that sees the world as a game of life, right? And if you're actively playing the game, no matter what level you're on, no matter how many lives you've saved up, how much money's in the bank, no matter how big your hotels are or how big your land is, everything is a 50-50 shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the sigil that I got for you is disconnection, right? So why would
Mm-hmm.
I get that? And I've got an angel coming in saying, well, hi, my name's Chance and I work with him all the time. But here's what they don't understand the most. And I'm like, well, why don't they understand it? It's because of the way it is being introduced to themselves, right? We all have serotonin and dopamine and endorphins, and we have all of this wonderful things and chemistry going on in our brain, right? And when we get highly addicted to that emotion, sometimes when it doesn't come back instantly, we start to crave it a little bit, or sometimes we even try to mass produce it by doing other things. And that is when we sometimes can find ourselves having an addiction in our life that we didn't necessarily intend to have, right? That addiction
Mm-hmm.
doesn't always have to be alcohol. It doesn't always have to be
Mm-hmm.
drugs. It can literally be shopping. It can be gambling. It can be anything where a chance angel, a 50-50 angel is coming in going, well, they got a 50-50 shot. Shall we take that chance? So here's
Wow.
what I want you to understand, that just because the sigil that your subconscious felt the most connection to is disconnection. The easiest part of disconnection is reconnection. And the only way it happens is when you replace the negative that led you down that path with one
Mm-hmm.
positive.
Mm-hmm.
Two negatives cannot produce a positive outcome. They cannot. Scientifically, it doesn't work. Mathematically, it doesn't work. I don't think you can take a negative in an English form and turn it into positive without some metaphors along the way that have a simile kind of energy, right? It
Mm-hmm.
means the same, but it sounds different, or it sounds the same, but it means something different, an opposite, right? Those metaphors and similes and all them fun words that I'm getting mumble jumbled in my head, because the point is still the same. We can
Right.
get disconnected, and then we can crave that connection by finding ourselves filling it with negative things that are not meant for us. So make
Yeah.
sure that you are using all of the information that you have, right? That balance of yin and yang, that integration of everything. Make sure that you are balancing it in a very healthy way, because the only way to get away from disconnection is positively connecting and replacing the negative with positive, positive everything, new everything, people, places, things, positive tools, positive ways, mind over matter. You must do this one with pure intention. It's one of the
Mm-hmm.
hardest.
That's beautiful. And that's where you find wholeness. And that's where you start your self-reflection. I mean, these cards match up with some of the messages that Hershe has. That's wonderful. Yeah. Hi, Karen Doyle. Good to see you, dear. Well, thank you, Marby. All right. So we have Donna. She is a Pisces sun, Capricorn moon. I'm a Capricorn moon, Donna. Good for you. 63, just got a shadow book and a study guide. Oh, cool. All right.
I like it. I
That's
like it.
really, yeah. Just so you know what's next, play your afterwards, then Cree, then Mary, then Edward, and Nancy and Annie if we have enough time. So, yeah, no, it is not easy to be a Capricorn. Yeah, yeah. Actually, no, that's my rising sign. My moon is a Pisces moon. I forgot that. Yeah. Karen, if we have enough time, these are rather long, and these are only blind spots and what do you call it? Shadow readings today.
Shadow checks, yeah.
Yeah. Donna, I get here that transform your pain into your strength, empower yourself, and evolve. And I love the word ascension, which comes along with this, is what we're going through right now. And that will bring the freedom that you need. The next thing is feathered omens. I love this. It says here, even the sweetest birds harbor fierce intentions. So, don't deceive yourself. Make sure you realize that you are the one that may be having an illusion about something that needs to be relooked at. So I'm going to just put that out there.
Oh, I actually love that. And you know what? I love when this happens. I love when I didn't get one for you, but I did get a reminder for you, sweetheart. And what I got for you is number 14. Number 14 is the gift, right? There's only one
Oh,
way to not get this one, and that's to stop giving the gift of you to anyone, including yourself. So this is something that is
okay.
given to you, right? So the gift has drawback, the gift has circumstances, and the gift can be challenging and maybe even damaging when you don't use it properly. So remember that you yourself are a gift. Give
Beautiful.
you authentically away. And that's what I've got for you, babe.
Well, that's awesome.
I
I don't
love
think
it.
I've
Doesn't
ever.
happen very often, but sometimes they
Oh,
just need a
really?
reminder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's really cool. I don't think I've ever heard that one before. So that is cool.
One of the best
So
ones.
we have play, love, and remember. Would love to have both readings. So I'm going to pull out your shadow first. Is unmasking the truth. The eyes see only what the mind is prepared to know, but right now you're doing a lot of self-examining and you are coming up with revelations. So keep those lenses clean so that you can see what's coming your way. And it says here, shadow blossom, you need both sunlight and darkness to bloom fully, and be more resilient and nourishing in knowing that both of those things, which is light and dark, have to coexist in order for you to move forward. Yeah.
So the one before I actually just speak what it is, I want you to remember that this sigil is kind of a reminder, but it also, because of what they paired it with the energy of slowing down, right?
Okay.
Sometimes when we get comfortable in our spiritual path, we get to picking up pace, right? So we're adding more charcoal to that steam locomotive, and it's really moving and we're making good timing. And now all of a sudden it's all about finishing the race instead of actually putting in the work, right? So the sigil that I got for you is bypassing, right? Bypassing is one of
Ooh.
those ones where we're just going through the act of, right? That's the one where we can make our mouth say anything, but we don't actually have the action and the follow through anymore. We started there. We just ain't
Mm-hmm.
there no more, right? We're bypassing all of that. And I ain't doing all that damn work. I got to get to the finish line. We have to slow down. If you do not slow down, if you do not stay consistent, this is at the part they say where you don't use it, you'll lose it. You could lose an opportunity to go down your own history and change everything that was suppressive, denying, disowning, raw, unresoluted, hurtful,
Wow.
binding. But if you do not slow down, you will absolutely miss an opportunity to
Mm.
possibly rewrite and give you a better outcome, destined future than what you keep repeatedly going over and around the same mountain. You can go around it a million times, but until you actually go through the mountain, it'll never actually be behind you.
Wow.
I've got for you.
And I love that, just even thinking about the idea of our life being a journey, and it's not the destination, it's the journey that's the most important part. And that sounds a lot like what you said.
Please,
So yeah.
exactly the
That's,
best part.
yeah. Yeah. Slow down. You move too fast. All right. Thank you. All right. We have Cree next. Hi, Cree. It's nice to see you. Yep. Hmm. Okay, it's that word again, but remember that it doesn't mean anything necessarily. For instance, it says addiction, but it does not mean that you're addicted to drugs or alcohol. Or for me, I'm addicted to coffee. If I don't have my coffee every day, I'm a mess. You too? Yeah, you too. Um, it says compulsive needs, despite negative consequences, get support and therapy and get your healing. And so I can only say that this is me as well, because I will drink my coffee and some days it makes me sick because it's not good for my stomach. So it's kind of like that. It's like it is a self-sabotage in a way. But then it says here that seductive allure, Cree, instant gratification blinds you to the consequences. That goes along with this card so well, actually, because what it's saying is it's like me with eating. I'll admit, I love Tootsie Rolls. I'll sit and eat a whole bunch of them, and then I'll have a stomach ache because I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing. So that's kind of, I'm gonna own up to that one. All right. Hi, Care Bear.
Here. So this is one of those ones where I find myself constantly having it thrown back in my own face when I do those life self checks on myself,
Oh
because I
no.
get away with not having to have it
Well, that's
literally
what I
thrown in
just
my
had.
own face. Exactly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's pretend that I'm actually resonating with this right now. So I'm going to share this sigil with you because it is literally a reality check for me, because there is something right now that I'm missing, right? And I do think that I just maybe found a clue, right? And here's where I found the clue. Don't feel ashamed that you cannot see this. It's at the very bottom of this card meaning. It's not at the top where you would think it would have the most impact. Had I
Uh-huh.
not scammed to the bottom, because it's like, ah, the sigil I got for you is others see it, you don't, right? So this
Mm-hmm.
sigil is all about understanding that not everybody that told you you were an asshole on Thursday, um, August 19th of 1912, you weren't the asshole in the room, because everybody ain't lying. You just don't want to see it, right?
Right,
So
right.
I
Yeah.
pray to God that you weren't in a room being an asshole on August whatever in 1912, right? In whatever timeline. I hope that it is
Huh.
fictitious as all get out. But the best
Right.
part of this is that you only need to seek the counsel of objective people, right? Not like-minded
Mm-hmm.
individuals in this case, because you tend to want to be bullies together when you're staying in the same circle, right? Birds of a feather
Oh,
flock together. So this
right.
kind of card is literally challenging you to get out of your own condition and stop comparing you to every apple and orange you meet. And you know damn good and well you're a Kiwi. You can't be a Kiwi and compare yourself to apples and oranges and grapes. It just doesn't work that way. You
Right.
need to realize that the condition that you are as a gorgeous, soft, beautiful, delicate, fuzzy, hairy, sweet, goody, golden, or green Kiwi is loved by more than maybe even like apples and oranges. So here's the
Yep.
best part of understanding the sigil, right? The best part of this is that it is straightforward, and it is time for you to follow the counsel of you.
Mm. Okay.
Do not allow anyone's perspective, favor, or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
biased, forced
Mm.
thought in
Mm-hmm.
your head. You get to
Mm-hmm.
rip you completely apart and put you back together the way you want to be seen, felt, heard, and
Mm-hmm.
loved. And
Yeah.
you don't have to put no one's favor in front of yours.
Oh,
So
I love
absolutely
God,
understand
that's
that you are worth this kind of
this.
work. I do it every
Yeah.
day, and it is so
Oh,
much fun. I
yeah.
promise it really is.
Oh my God. I love that, Hershey, because I think that really actually can have meaning for a lot of us, really.
I
And
hope
we
so.
always get what we need to know the most. So I love
Yeah,
that.
this is one of
That's,
them that,
yeah,
I got you.
yeah,
So I take it
gotcha.
with you today.
Uh-huh. Wow. That's amazing. Thank you so much. All right. So we have Mary and then Edward and then Nancy, Annie, and Karen if we have time. We will do it. All right. If you're still here. All right. All right. So Mary, Mary, Mary. Woo. Mary, you're not being kind enough to yourself. You need to embrace any imperfections to help yourself find the strength. You have to have compassion for yourself and have a growth mindset and be resilient because, oh my God, that's so true about what Hershey just said about listening to what other people think about you. You be self compassionate. Don't let anybody else tell you. Yeah. The next thing I get is this will help provide you with an emotional release that you might need. Maybe you've been carrying something too much. It says, let go, make space for new beginnings. And a catharsis is something we come to after we realize what it is. It's like an aha moment, and we say, oh my, now I understand. So there you go.
So this is going to be one of those sigils that, had I not taken the last one, I might have to. I'm gonna have to dip my toe in, right? Okay, it is what it is, right? So you got number 71. 71 is literally the heaviest word that none of us want to agree to because we don't want it, right? Depletion. So,
Mhm.
what do we think depletion is, right? Well, if we think of Webster's dictionary, we just think of the lack of having something, right? But
Mhm.
when we are actively staying in that place, we don't recognize it, right? We don't understand that this sigil, it's highly likely that you alone found this sigil and you highly and you are currently struggling in or with one situation. This is
Mhm.
not a general in your life, right? This isn't something every day, that autopilot kind of thing, right? This is something that you literally have to make a decision about. Remember those application words I said you had to have one, just one of these, even if all of them applied to you? In this situation, there's something in your life right now that is depleting you. It's not meant for
Mm.
you. This
Mhm.
card tells me that either it's a tool, a deck, a person, a job, a career, fudge, it could be anything, right? Literally, it could be the money
Mhm.
pit you live in. It could be something stifling you, smothering you, and you don't realize it. You do
Mhm.
not realize that there is one key thing in your life that is literally keeping you depleted. You cannot cut your nose off to spite your face. You have got to find out what it is immediately, because the energy they paired this with is exhaustion, right? So
Oh,
when you
wow.
think about the mere
Mhm.
fact that this thing, you might carry it around with you. It may be a ring on your finger, an anklet, an earring. It may be something you carry with you, a watch. You may be on autopilot to know that it has to go with you every day. It may be cigarettes. I'm a smoker. Maybe that
Mm.
is depleting you. I don't know, but there is something in your life that you do every single day that is
Mm.
absolutely not meant for you.
Is
And that's
exhausting.
all I got
And
for
and
you.
maybe it's you're not giving yourself enough self-love and self-compassion. It could even be something like that. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
100%.
Yeah. Big hugs, Mary Starshine. That's great. Yeah. So Cree's feedback on the gal before. Oh no, I try to be kind in my life. Thank you. It took me a long time to live that way, as that you just spoke about. And everything is a journey, Cree. Absolutely. We're all you are exhausted, Mary. Okay. So you got to figure out what you need to change in order not to be exhausted anymore. Yeah. 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 I know what I need to change, but unfortunately, I can't change it because a whole bunch of people voted for it. So, but but I can change not listening anymore. So, that might be the only way. Anyway, Edward, we're glad to have you. I'm pulling two shadow cards for you. The first one is Sacred Boundaries, and it says here that you might need to look more at respecting and honoring your limits and taking care of yourself. So you got that one first. The next one I love is embracing the void. And your true potential is waiting to be discovered. I think it says your creative power. And you know what I think about this embracing the void, from what I know of you, having been a Reiki master and certainly all the things that have happened in your life, you did come back. You embraced the void and you moved back into your spiritual practice. And so I think you're working through that shadow. So there you go.
Mm.
Oh, he does, Mary? Okay. Mary's husband has health issues. So yeah, I'm dealing with, yeah, listening to that too. Yeah.
Ooh, oh boy. So, you know what? I just got thrown into the fire, right? I was already in the frying pan. I'm doing blind spots. So they just threw me from the frying pan straight into the fire. Okay, here we go. I am just the messenger. You got the sigil shapeshifter, right?
Ooh, okay. Hmm.
You know how sometimes people say shapeshifting is bad.
All
Sometimes
right.
it's not always bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when those of us that are meant for a very specific walk do not walk the walk you're meant for, you are the definition of what this sigil is screaming. You are living a false life somewhere, right? This is about wearing one of those masks that we wear. We maybe take it off when we're at home because we're comfortable enough at home behind closed doors where we know we have a little safety place where no one can see us because we are too not prepared or ready or willing to accept what someone else's impersonation or and whatever, right? Whatever, all that negative things. That's why you only do it in the privacy of your bedroom or your home, or maybe you're not even safe enough or feel comfortable enough to do it there. Maybe you only do it in a certain place where you think you're in character, but you're really not in character at this theater. You're actually being your true, authentic self right then and there. That's when the shapeshifter is come to show itself, right? This
Okay.
sigil is a mastermind manipulator. I'm sorry, it is one of the heaviest ones. This sigil has found you because you were so used to hiding this part about you because of someone else's thought of how or what another's actions should be. Your thoughts can't focus on being your truest authentic self because you're so worried of what Tom, Dick, and Harry are going to think about you now because your friends now, well, no. They're not actually friends with you. They don't know the real you. They know a piece of you. They don't know the real
Mm-hmm.
you. They know a piece
Mm-hmm.
of you. So they
Mm-hmm.
literally paired it with, here we go again, this puzzle piece, right? You're missing a
Oh,
piece of this border, right? It will
wow.
never be complete. I don't care how many hours you spend every single day putting the costume on, how many days and hours you spend getting every line perfect for that gorgeous, flawless presentation. None of it means anything. None of it means anything because you are not doing it with a full border. Okay. This
Okay.
sigil did not find a weak minded, no backbone person. They just found the right individual to wake up, take that mask off, and realize that there was a blind spot in that mask and you didn't realize your border is missing a border piece. And without that
Oh,
border piece, the
wow.
center of that puzzle can never be fully
Complete.
ready. It's always going to feel like it's missing something. So
Mm-hmm.
stop worrying about anybody else, honey. Take that mask off and let the master inside of you come out, and
Wow.
don't be a shapeshifter anymore for
Wow.
someone else's ease. Disappoint them. Don't disappoint you anymore. It's gonna be
Um,
okay.
that's amazing. What a you have described what my husband did also for many years because he didn't want to step out and let some people know that he was spiritual because they would judge him because they were more, let's say, Christian minded or whatever. So it was like you
Absolutely.
couldn't be fully free. You can't be fully
Absolutely.
free. Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. 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 Called out, he says. Both resonate. The energy I feel are so strong sometimes. I don't use my gifts and feel afraid of them a lot of the time. I see and feel a lot more than I let others know about. And you are not alone.
Not even
And
a little bit.
no, not even a little bit. And I know too that there are a lot of men that have a job and that's their livelihood and so on and so forth. But you and I have the same issue where I can't let everybody know what I like to do when I'm at work. I can't tell everybody what else I do, that I come on here and read cards or something. It just isn't. So I totally get it. I totally get it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I love that you guys, I mean, this isn't easy to listen to sometimes. So I love that you guys are all here and being open-minded. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. So Nancy, Annie, Karen, are you all still here? Just let me know by saying yes, 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 if you would. Um, and wow, what I'm getting um, goosebumps because a lot of these messages I need to hear, Hershey. So,
Don't we
yeah,
all, if we're being
yeah,
honest? I mean, we
yeah,
can only
yeah.
hear so much about rainbows and buttons and everybody's doing everything right and nothing's
Uh-huh,
working out. I mean,
uh-huh. Yeah,
reality
that's
is
true.
not that, guys. Come on now.
Yep, yep,
I'm
yep,
here for the
yep.
reality. Let's do it. Yes.
Oh, so you sleep with the TV on as you can see energy in the dark, and at times I see symbols on your ceiling. Don't be afraid,
So
Edward.
let's keep
You're
going.
protected. You are protected. You definitely are, especially by all of us here because we adore you. So, yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Nancy, I have here detach from your daily struggles, relax, but don't use it as a form of avoidance. It's saying, relax, but also face the reality that might be trying to knock on your door so that you understand it. And the second part I get is to explore your feelings, delve into your insecurities, and any unresolved emotions that you may be dealing with. And that will set you free. That will give you some peace. So, yeah. Wow.
Gotta find the frequency. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in the beginning of this one, and then we're gonna jump to the back, and then it's gonna hopefully make sense somewhere around the
Okay.
caboose, and we're gonna round back out, and we're gonna talk about the sigil itself. The
Okay.
sigil itself is the one that has no actual definition in the book, because by the time you read the entire meaning of the thing, what you've
Yep.
done is you come back to the one before it and the one after it, right? So here's where I
Oh,
want to start
okay.
at. I want to start
Yeah.
with number 6, your
Okay.
trauma. I'm going to stop right there because it's
Okay.
valid, it's existed, and nobody is exempt. Everyone has trauma,
Has
right?
drama.
So we
Yep.
start with the trauma, right? And then we're going to jump to number 8, and we're going to go right to that bypassing. If you were here when I read about it, then maybe you might have felt like, ooh, did somebody pinch me? You may have felt a little tweak, like that was going to have a little bit of something that resonated with you, right? It did,
Mm-hmm.
because you got number 7. Number 7 is the meaning. The meaning means both of them, right? You have to
Mm-hmm.
take and have a trauma, which everyone does. No one is exempt. I don't care how old they are. No one is exempt. No one, no one, no one. And if they say they don't have anything, they are full of you know what. Okay, so your sigil is meaning, right? We always look for meaning in something else, right? We look for meaning in water. We look for meaning in clouds. We look for meaning in this. We look for meaning in that. Everywhere we look, we're looking for meaning. We're looking meaning in someone else's existence. We live vicariously through other people's eyes. What we forget to realize is that they are a reflection of us. It is the way that we need to receive the message, not the way we want to hear it, right? The way it needs to
Mm-hmm.
be reciprocated, right? Sometimes it is in the delivery system, 100%, and sometimes the delivery can foul up a perfect presentation because the delivery was wrong, right? It's all
Mm-hmm.
about the meaning, right? So if you stay
Right.
in the process of the meaning, what you are understanding is that you have assigned yourself a seventh, well, let's see, you would be the teacher of surgeons, and you've never even picked up a scalpel.
Oh, okay.
You're staying right there, right? When we don't take ownership, we're choosing to say it doesn't exist anymore. Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does, because it's your drama. It's your
Mhm.
history. It's your past. And until you're willing to pick up that scalpel and go back in and open those traumas up and learn to bypass all of the things that physically happen to you, because now in the current day, they can't happen to you right now, right? So you're going to
Mhm.
bypass all of that. So you're going to go from 6, you're going to jump to 8 just to come back to 7, right? The meaning of all of that was that you didn't open up your own wounds for yourself. You were living vicariously through everything and everyone else and not being honest about something in your own trauma that all it needed was a little snip cut, and now it can scab and heal up, and you can represent that. Hell, you might even want to get a tattoo and be honorable and proud and wear it as
Uh-huh.
a reward,
A
because now
reward for
you can
recognition.
transmute that into something else.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's
it's stereo
amazing.
instructions, but the number
Yeah.
7 is the hardest one to understand, because
Sure. You
literally,
have to work
Allie's
through
sitting
it
there
in
with me
different
right in front
ways.
of her,
Right.
and I'm going to challenge her to read 7 just to go back. Oh shit, I've got to start at 6, then go to 8 just to come back to 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yep.
it
Yeah.
is a mind trip
But
for the
there
soul.
are things that do that. I mean, absolutely. We need to know this before we know this. And if we don't know it in
Yes,
the right order, we don't know it at all. Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Wow.
Sometimes seeing it as a child and experience it, and then looking at it now as a grown adult to heal the inner child is all it
Mm-hmm.
needs to be, is the person you wish you would have had back then to help you in that situation. And
Yes,
sometimes it's
absolutely.
just that easy.
Sometimes it isn't. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Annie. All right.
Whew.
Um, wow. Very dynamic. Very dynamic. Um, I would have time for one more after this. I don't see that that Karen Doyle's here. She didn't say she was here. So if we have Annie, and then we'd have time for one more if somebody else wants it that's here and hasn't asked for one. All right, Annie. Annie, you're having a battle within for some reason. You're having some inner conflict and you're really wanting it to go away. You want to resolve it. It says the greatest war that you wage is against yourself. And so um, that's an important component of what it is that you need to learn. The second one is a mental contest. Strength isn't from winning, struggles define strength. Control, power, and repress. So not all battles are needed to be strong. Sometimes, though, they bring out what is needed. So you're looking at it there. So Donna, you have a question. Do you do immediate readings? I don't. Do you mean immediate readings, private readings, or do you mean I need a little bit more information? I'll certainly answer your question. Hershe does them, and I do them as well, regular readings as well. So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is one of those reminders, right? This is one of them times where, when we go into analog mode real quick because we just want to do a little self check. This is one of them things where we get stuck in the white noise because we know we heard something. We want to hear it
Mm-hmm.
again, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you
Yeah.
can't stay in that negative for too long, right? You need to scan it so that it's constantly sweeping, or otherwise you're just going to get carried off into the Neverlands, right? Literally the
Mm-hmm.
Neverlands, right?
Yeah.
So you need to stay focused. So you got to sweep it. So you're listening, and then you sweep, and then you sweep, and then you sweep, and then you listen again, right? So the schedule that you got is number 36. Number 36 is about recognizing when you're in that negative pattern, right? We
Uh-huh.
do it. Stinking thinking, monkey mind, all of that. We do it, we do it, we do it. It is just something that we do, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
challenge to this schedule right here is realizing that the energy it paired it with is literally something that can't go together. You cannot have a negative and a master together, right? So
Ah.
you, as the adult that you are now, you have mastered and overcome things that you still allow to rent space in your head. You haven't fully transmuted all of it, but the master, the energy of you, the master of you, the master of your temple, your body, your trauma, your history, your past, and your future are letting me know you're still holding
Mm-hmm.
on to a couple of things. Maybe you feel
Ah,
like there
release.
is something still there gonna change, something still gonna happen. What I can tell you is that the exact opposite is always gonna happen because you're seeking the same thing to happen. You're wanting a positive to happen and a negative, and it can't happen that way. It can't. It doesn't
Ooh.
work that way. No matter how you do your math, unless you know you have a way of doing math that no one else in the world could ever understand, trust me,
Mm-hmm.
there is always a way to get out of it. And the way to get out of it is stop allowing the wants to override the need. Keep those
Ooh.
needs present and
Uh-huh.
taken care of daily. And by the time you get done with them needs, you're too tired to want the wants anyway. So trust me, the
Yeah.
needs will fill the want of the space. But you have to
Wow.
put them first always. And that's what I've got for you.
Again, another wonderful message in that, sometimes we hold on too tightly to things we should let go of. And what is it?
Yes.
Einstein said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And I love that. That's one of my
Different.
favorites.
Boy, there
Yeah.
you go. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. You're welcome, Annie. You're welcome. Well, Hershe, we are just under a minute at an hour, and nobody else has asked, so I guess we're going to be all done. But that was a fast hour. And I
Yes, it
surely
was.
appreciate, yeah, it was
Yes, it
wonderful.
was. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, that was wonderful. Holy cow.
Well, actually, Amanda said she wants one. Why don't we just finish with her? There you go,
Why not?
Amanda. Yeah,
Why
why
not?
not? Yeah. But that this
Why
will be the
not?
last one. Thank you. Sorry, Amanda, I didn't see that. Yeah. All right. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us today. So, Amanda, what you being stubborn about, girl? It says here it can denote perseverance, but it also may hinder progress. It says be a little bit more flexible, and that will help you to grow. So there's that. And then it says transform pain into strength and empower yourself and it will bring you some positive change. So maybe once you stop being so stubborn about whatever it is you're stubborn about, perfect, powerful change comes in. So there you go. Wow.
Okie dokie. All right. So here we go. This is a card that is meant for someone very specific in your life, but you, and you alone are the one that the sigil is screaming to. So the card is enabling, right? Those of us that are enablers do not see us as enablers. We always constantly think we're helping someone, we're lifting them up, we're giving them what they need. No, you're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. And I am a huge people pleaser. So let me tell you that enabling goes along with people pleasing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yep.
Reality is what it is. And honey, these two go hand in hand and they are not very good together, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
energy of all of this is existence, right?
Huh?
Sometimes we have to throw our hands up because we have literally done all we can do. And when we've done all we can do nothing more but to walk away. There is
Yep.
someone in your life you are enabling, and life itself or karma, one of the two of the four sisters, is going to come in and teach them a life lesson. And you cannot be in the way. If you get in the way, you could affect someone's life lesson that needs to happen. And how
Oh,
many life lessons did you make it through that you thought were going to take you out, but instead they made you stronger? You're
true.
taking someone else's ability to learn a hard life lesson away from them. And I don't want to be the one to tell you, but it's somebody that is actively in your circle. So you need to realize their existence, their very existence demands that you realize they need to fall down and go boom.
Mm.
They will be
Mm.
able to get up. They will. And you can help them once they stand back up. You just
Yeah.
can't throw any more pads down for
Down
them
for
to
them to
land on.
land on.
I'm sorry, but there's no
Isn't
more
that what
pads.
mothers are? Mothers, I mean, and it could be somebody else in her life, but as mothers, we
100%,
don't
but
want
it
to
is an
see. Yeah,
actual person. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
unfortunately, yeah, you
yeah.
gotta let alone the hard way. Tough love, it
Tough
is.
love. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, that was great. Well, everybody, Hershe used the blind spot readings from Teal Swan. I have some cards from Shadow. And I want you to make sure you go over and like and subscribe to Hershe's channel. It's Hershe the Shadow Reader. And she's got some great shows that she does. So, yeah. So, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Hershe. Always so much fun. Yeah.
Always, always,
Always.
always.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. You have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye. Blessings.
I can get out of here. All right. There we go.